Hey guys, just thought I'd do a quick update on the rack, I guess, just because it's been a long time and there's a lot that's changed, as you can see, if you remember the last time I did this. Um, so I just wanted to go over what's new, what the plan is, and if any of you guys watched my stream a couple days ago, thank you for watching, and I'm gonna do that more often because it was a lot of fun. So I guess stay tuned for more of those. And a lot of the stuff I'm gonna work on, I'm gonna try and stream it as well. So let's start. Let's start at the top, just cause it makes sense. The first thing in here, as you can see, actually, I'm completely full until I get a 42U rack and a place where I can store it. I'm pretty much at max capacity, so I've got all 25U full, plus stuff in the back. But at the top, we've got it's an HP StorageWorks 4x8 SAN switch, so it's 4 gigabit, 8, I guess. I don't know what the 8 stands for. I guess 8 license ports, because that's all I have is 8 license ports on this. But it's a fiber channel SAN switch, which is kind of loud, and that's why I don't have it plugged in. But eventually, it's going to be the heart of my SAN. And I've got to go through and learn. It's based on the I think it's the Brocade Silkworm 200E is what this is based on. I did have another switch too, but I sold it just because I didn't need any, like, it was a better model than this one. I don't really need that good of a SAN switch. This one's good enough to learn on. So that's there. Next down is my Cisco 3560G. It's my gigabit switch that is basically hooked up to everything. And then we've got a cable organizer that kind of hides the mess that's the cables underneath. You can pull this off. And it's got some junk under there, but I'm going to cover that back up because it's not as pretty. Below that, we have it's a Cisco 2960 PoE. So this is running PoE cameras. I've got a PoE phone. Anything that I need PoE for in the future, this is what it's going to be used for. It's only 100 megs, so I don't use it for any of my data stuff, but I have all this stuff is the iDRAC ports for the servers, so remote management, don't need gigabit ports for it, so that's why it's there. Below that, we've got the Dell R210 Gen 1. This is my Pfsense router. It's basically, I was having issues with the VM version of Pfsense, so I got this for a hardware replacement, basically. And that's all that's running is Pfsense. It's got 2 gigs of RAM and a single quad-core CPU. Below that is a Dell R410, and what this is going to be is my my SAN controller, SAN head. So the front, we're going to have these 4 drives are most likely going to be SSDs, or some of my better hard drives for like a tier 1 set of storage. And then below this is going to or on the back anyway, it's going to have it already has fiber channel cards that connect to the SAN at the bottom, which we'll talk about later. And that's going to be handing out LUNs via fiber channel through the switch to any host that I want to give storage on the SAN. Below that is the Unraid NAS, which is still running strong, nice and quiet. Actually, my switches are louder than that thing. And I'm going to do some upgrades to it. Eventually, I need to get a new RAID card, another additional LSI card so that I can run the top set, because I have a whole bunch of hard drives in there and in a box that I need to deploy. So I've got 2 extra spaces right now for it to expand, and then once I'm got those drives in there and set up and ready to go, I'll have to get another RAID card to get the top row hooked up. So below that, we've got 5 Dell R710s. They all have L5640 CPUs in it, 2 each, so that's 10 total. 6 core, 12 thread CPUs, so each one has 24 threads. I believe these two have 64 gigs of RAM each, and then the bottom 3 only have 48 gigs. I just haven't had the cache to up the memory, and I don't really have the need for it right now anyway. 48 gigs is plenty. This one is currently running my Proxmox virtual host, which runs like all my VMs. You can see on here, got a PCIe fatal error because of what I was messing with on stream was that graphics card. I did actually get it to work, so I'll go over that next stream and maybe in a video at some point. But I have a graphics card running in here now. Below this is going to be my Azure Stack server for the dev environment for Azure Stack. I need to fill it with hard drives. That's going to be what the stream tomorrow is going to be on, hopefully. Below that is these 3 servers are a Openstack Cluster. They're off right now because actually these 4 are off just because I don't need them all running if I'm not working on them because I use a decent amount of power. So they're just sitting there. They're probably going to be repurposed eventually, but for now they're OpenStack. I actually need to pull these 2 out because they're sitting on top of this, and once I get the rails for those 2, I don't know, it'll be easier to work on these, but right now these 2 are sitting on top of that one, and I need to get at that one because it has a bad RAM stick in it. Below that we've got 3, I think they're HP MA6412s, I believe is the model. And I've got 2 of those. It's got about 14 terabytes of fiber channel disks in it. We're missing 2 that were bad. They're all 400 gig drives, except for the bottom array has some 450s. I think there's 8 450 gig drives in there. And this is basically what the SAN is going to be. It's all hooked up via fiber channel. I'll do a video on all this stuff when I get around to playing with it. But I've got it, or I had it set up with another HP server where these were all hooked up via fiber channel and distributed using Linux iSCSI client and using the fiber channel module for that, and then using ZFS to cut up the and distribute the storage around on these disks. So that'll be really interesting once I get to doing that. I'm hoping to do that in the next couple weeks as well, since I have a lot of time. And other than that, that's the rack. In the back, you probably can't see, I have my old Cisco 1841 router. It's off now because the Pfsense host has taken over. And then I've got some other stuff to get rid of as well. I don't know if I did this before, but we've got a UPS down here as well. If I can switch it over to show my wattage. So we're sitting at 224 watts is what's currently running. Basically from the NAS up is running on the UPS, just so I have my network is supported by the UPS, the NAS is supported by the UPS, and that has an auto shutdown for if the battery runs out, it'll shut down this host gracefully before it completely dies. And then everything below that is just directly into the wall because I don't need it up all the time. There's nothing crazy important on the Proxmox host. And then I do have a second UPS, I just don't have room to put it over here. It's actually supporting my workstation. So, yeah. And then I've got this project here as well. It's my old gaming PC, and I've got the hot swap bay out of the my old NAS, that big 4U server that used to be in my rack. This is going to be an offsite backup server eventually. I'll make a video series on that project as well, where I'm going to take this and put it probably in my parents' shop, just so, or garage, just so I have a place that I can move important stuff away from here, so that, you know, if something happens, I still have my data. There's I don't know, the third step in and data protection or whatnot. Go over that in another video. And yeah, if you were there for the live stream, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed them or think you'd enjoy them and didn't catch the first one, I'm going to do a lot more of them just because it was a lot of fun. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching, guys, and well, hopefully see you in a couple new videos coming out. See you later.